A shroom trip has to be outdoors. The right environment with the right people.
Are you sure this is a good time to go looking for mushrooms?
No better. We'll have the whole park to ourselves.
Right. So tell us a ghost story.
Strange things happen up here around shroom season. People missing only for their bodies to turn up mutilated, but always with one thing in common.
What?
It's supposed to heighten the sexual experience tenfold.
Holy shit.
There's someone there.
Is Pluto back?
As my conclusion, Bluto's having Force 10 visual hallucinations.
He took the photos.
What a dick face.
Hey, asshole, this isn't funny!
You hear that?
There's somebody there! Hello?
You're freaking me out.
This is a trip, man, right? This is a trip.
Hello?
That's what happens.
Yeah, let's go.
Hello?
I've taken those pills.
I don't know what's going on in my head, what's real, what's not. No, this isn't real.
What is happening?
Okay. So I hadn't seen that trailer.
Oh, first time viewing?
That wasn't a Wilhelm scream at the end, but that is a stock scream from like StarCraft and like all sorts of different mediums. That yeah.
Such a strange trailer and such a strange movie.
This movie is my fucking nightmare. Like, not a big drug guy.
Yeah.
Don't like tripping is my absolute nightmare
Mhm.
because of shit like this.
Yeah,
Like, I'm just afraid that something horrible will happen, and then it will like. I mean, and it would be nothing. It'd be like a spider bit me, and then I'd go down an avenue of thinking this movie happened to me.
Yeah, I could see that.
So
Just
I don't need any of that. Good. I'll stick with alcohol.
yeah, I just can't imagine being caught in that situation. So unless you haven't already figured out, I suppose in celebration of St. Patrick's Day this week, we are watching a lot of people, and we were originally going to watch Lep in the Hood because it's just so ridiculous. And I'd imagine a lot of people probably thought it was going to be Leprechaun, but I decided to pick this just because it's a bit more obscure and it's probably outside of like Leprechaun. I would say this is like one of the more famous, well, at least Irish-made horror movies out there.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's St. Patrick's Day, you gotta do the Irish thing all the way up.
I mean, yeah, I thought it might get us some views, to be honest. Yeah, so it's
we
a
did Boondock Saints this last week.
That's a good movie. I like that. Fun.
It's not that good.
It's like bad good, if that makes sense. I used to love that movie.
Yes, see, that was like our generation's like that was every dude our age had that like freshman year on their dorm room wall, the poster, and loved it. I saw it like a couple years ago and I was like, oh no, this is bad. And then we watched it again recently. I was like, okay, it's not good. And there's some there's a lot of elements,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's all right. And at the very beginning of that, it's St. Patrick's Day, and they're like, "Hey, we're all Irish today," and we're all Irish today.
So this movie is a 2007 Irish psychological slasher film, written by Pierce Elliott and directed by God, it doesn't have the director's name.
I'm weirdly more uncomfortable for this than I was like Hostel or Martyrs or anything, because it's just like
Really?
this hits a personal part of me that I've always been afraid of.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Like this is one reason I don't do psychedelics, is because I'm terrified of exactly what we're about to watch.
Actually, yeah, and it does kind of slide right, I suppose, into like the stereotype as well. The plot follows a group of American students and their English guide who were stalked by a serial killer while out in the woods looking for mushrooms.
Yeah, that like being tripping while dealing with a serial killer is, I mean, it's the worst hell I can imagine. That's
Yeah,
the
and then the fact
scariest
that you
thing I
can't
can
tell
think
like reality from what's actually.
of. Tripping is not my thing. Don't like it. Don't like doing it.
So this is an Irish and Danish co-production. Didn't know that. Shot over a period of 7 weeks.
That's me. I'm Irish and Danish.
And it was shot in Gosford Park in County Armagh, Northern Ireland, and Rossmore Forest Park in County Monaghan in Ireland. When it was released, it opened to generally negative reviews. It gave Rotten Tomatoes gave it a rating of 22% based on 18 reviews from critics, but it has since received a cult following by horror enthusiasts. Derek Ellie of Variety described the film as a shake and bake slasher movie that shows just how difficult it is to do effective, modestly budgeted horror.
That doesn't sound like a compliment.
No, I don't think so. Somehow or another.
But this premise is terrifying to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you've ever like mildly or moderately tripped, like this is gotta be terrifying concept. I mean,
I have no idea what the budget for this film was. I don't know if it's listed anywhere. I don't see a budget anywhere for it, but apparently it made $5 million, which is not bad.
I'm gonna guess it didn't cost that much.
Yeah, I would hope so, because we might be extremely disappointed at the end if I find out that it was
like a $20 million movie.
Oh God Almighty! Right, okay. I think we've given it enough time now bullshitting about this thing.
Yeah,
take it away, I suppose. Yeah.
All right, we'll do the countdown as we do.
And now, our feature presentation.
Play. See, that never gets a copyright. But the other one I've played before, it'll get it every time, but you can get it removed. It's free use, but you have to like go through this
the whole thing.
Every time I post every song I play our theme song from our show, but I do it all the time when we post ours. Every single video we post gets flagged for copyright because of that. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't. It's crazy. Like the person who made it was from YouTube, and he has like a whole video being like, "This is how you get out of the copyright." And you go to like the site and sign up for this thing, put the URL in there, and then immediately it comes off.
It's so annoying. Like,
yeah, I don't know why it does it, because like he says free use on certain videos and certain songs, and we use those, and then he has like a complete step-by-step walkthrough of how to not get it. Like, actually, I probably have to do that for this week's, because it posted on Monday and I didn't do that. Anything from the 80s, really. I should actually probably do that right now because I'm sure we have a copyright on it. I think about it. Do I? Do it again?
Can you or anybody hear that
Copyright claim. Yep. What? I already did that one. That's weird. Last week's now has it, but this week's is fine. Doesn't make sense.
Can anybody hear a crackling in my mic?
I can't hear it. No.
No, I'm just asking because I have this candle lighting right beside me.
It's flickering.
Because right before we started the show, I decided to hit my desk and knock over 2 full cans of Heineken and destroy the entire room.
Hell yeah.
And I don't mind the taste or smell of Heineken, but I just don't really fancy having this room absolutely reeking.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm glad I can't smell a damn thing.
So this dude here with the long blonde hair, he always reminded me of that stoner guy from Freddy vs. Jason.
He reminds me of dude
or
from, Clerks and
Jason Mewes. Fucking from Jay and Silent.
Jay, he's Jay.
Jay. Yeah.
Did that release it?
He has that very generic stoner guy, American
released
going to Europe.
Sorry, got my copyright gone. Very excited about that. That was weird. I already released that one. Yeah, he looks exactly like that guy. What is this guy? What a douche.
Do people like that exist?
I mean,
it's just the stereotype that we use.
I think that was a crossover of 2 different types of dude bros. That was your Chad frat boy, but then also he had rings and shit.
Yeah.
That's not something Chad would have.
Oh, this dude is supposed to be the Johnny Depp, sexy guy, I imagine. Kind of looks like a cross between maybe a young Johnny Depp and maybe is it Skeet Ulrich from using fucking Scream and stuff?
Yeah, he reminded me more of a creepy he is creepy, but Crystalia.
yeah, true. Actually, yeah, he does. Yeah,
he is actually creepy.
Yeah, that's actually people kind of forget about that now that all went on. But that time the scandal came out about him and he was playing a creepy weirdo in that show.
Yeah. Well,
it's just wow.
Do you see Army of the Dead or whatever it was?
Yeah, and they got
the Tig Notaro character. That was him. That's why all of her scenes were so fucking weird because they were filmed completely away after months after.
When I first watched
him. That's
that,
why she's
I
always
didn't
just
know
by herself.
that was the case, and I was why is it so weird?
Yeah, I knew that, but I forgot, and then I was filled in. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I actually like that movie. Oh, did we lose it? Uh-oh. Oh, Keisha.
We're back again.
You know what I liked more than that? That spin-off with the German safecracker. Did you watch that?
I haven't seen it yet. What's it called again?
I don't even remember, but
something like that.
I can't. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
I think it might have been better than the actual movie. He was the character I was least wanted to know more about.
Mm-hmm.
Really liked it. I don't know if my expectations were just that low that anything could.
Yeah, anything would have been good.
Yeah, but I don't know. I really enjoyed it. And I liked Army of the Dead. I like
Yeah,
Zack
he's
Snyder
talking about
in
is
certain
this a thing? Is this something actually in the States that exists? Dogging.
what?
Dogging.
What's that mean?
Yes, okay. So I imagined that it was
We
more of
might
a
have I'm sure it does. We probably have a
yeah.
different
There probably is a
terminology.
version of it. Yeah, that's what this guy is explaining to them now. So it's like people go out into rural areas and stuff like that to have sex. But there's like I suppose there's like message boards or whatever, however it works for like these sites. Now I wouldn't say it's swingers. It's like they call it dogging, and basically you would flash your lights. There would be a certain flash your lights 3 times or whatever it would be, and that's like a signal for like whoever's in this car is like down to fuck, and like
Oh,
dudes will like come up and like put their dicks in through the windows and
what? That
yeah,
happens
man,
where
it's
you live?
fucking bizarre. Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, you're Europeans. We're not quite. It's free. No. I mean, not
No,
where
I
I'm
wouldn't
from,
say it. I
anyways.
wouldn't say it's like an overly popular thing, but it is something that I think a lot of people over here have heard of. I don't know how well practiced it is.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. Like, I mean, I come from a place where like finding in the middle of the nowhere place to do your thing is normal because you live in the middle of nowhere. But it's not like that's more like you're with your girlfriend and it's like we gotta find like a dirt road to go bang in our Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we're setting up a thing. I've never been to a drive-in.
Are Irish
I
weird
would like
inbred
to.
dudes out in the woods scarier than our stereotypical American versions, I wonder?
I mean, any dude in the woods. I'm actually probably more afraid of American dudes in the woods because they probably have guns.
That's actually very true. Yeah. That's a fair point.
Although I'm not afraid of anybody in the woods. You put me in the woods, I'm good. I'm an indoor cat, but I'm good with. I was raised understanding hunting, fishing, the outdoors, the woods. You put me in the woods, I'm good. I'm not gonna be happy about it, but I'm good. Yeah, Joe knows. Yeah, zombie apocalypse comes. Meet me in the Boundary Waters. That's where I'm going. Make a quick stop in Iowa to get all my guns. So what did they hit? Just like a deer or something?
Yeah, I think so. I actually missed that bit.
And then there was like people with axes in the woods. And then like
Yeah,
now we're
just
I don't
and they just dragged away
that's
like
just
the
like a foreshadowing kind of thing, like it wasn't real or
because at this point they haven't found anything yet, have they? They're going out there to trip. Was he taking their phones?
Joe, I don't have a sense of smell, but that just enhances my other senses. I'm like a reverse daredevil. I hear everything. Actually, I don't hear that well either, but I see everything really well. Who needs sense of smell? How many times does a sense of smell do you well? Usually you're smelling something terrible. Joe's already up there anyways. He's already north. You come to the Boundary Waters with me, Joe. We'll be fine. A lot of people trip on shrooms in the woods. The only time I've done shrooms was in Amsterdam, and I made sure that I had a tour guide that was someone who had done it before. Like I needed to have someone like walk me through it because I
Yeah.
knew I didn't like it, and I only did like the half of the normal amount. Because I have a strict rule of like you can always do more, but you can never undo what you've done.
Yeah, so don't just go like balls to the walls.
Yeah, like I'm anytime I'm trying something, I'll like incrementally move forward because I can't not do what I've done, and I don't need that. Oh, Joe, you and I would be the only ones that live through our friend group. They would all be screwed. Just count them as casualties now. Move on.
That's a fair point Keisha makes there about who would trip on shrooms in the woods.
Most people.
Like, I get it, yeah, and there's definitely
like because you need to be outside. Like the only I'm going on like one instance, but the only time I've ever done them, it started inside, and I was like losing my fucking mind. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Like it freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah,
the second I got out, I got into like a park, and I was like, this is cool. Like, you need to be like out in nature for that. I mean, again, I'm not. It's the only time I ever even attempted that, and I don't want any more.
I just don't know if I would do it with like fucking random strangers in a different country. That just sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I did in another country, but I trusted the dude I was with.
Yeah, I suppose this is probably the same.
Well, that's why I
Probably
needed a
reckon
tour
this
guide.
guy is.
I needed a tour guide, and I asked him like he'd done it before. I'm like, I need someone to like walk me through this. I'm gonna freak out. I need someone to like talk me down from this, tell me things are cool, because that's gonna happen. Of course it did. Because I don't like losing control like that.
This is actually a thing though that happens quite often here. Actually, people going out to pick mushrooms.
Yeah, see, that would freak me out because I just know enough that most mushrooms are like gonna kill you. They're not gonna make you trip. They're just gonna poison you and you'll die.
Yeah, and I've seen some weird ass looking like it's like something from Nintendo Land.
Yeah, some like, toadstool, Princess Peach shit.
Yeah, just can't be good for you.
No, all fucking mushrooms are fungus. I mean, all tripping is you're being poisoned. Like that's why fucked up shit happens in your brain. You're being poisoned. You've poisoned yourself. Yeah, see, you need a battle buddy. Alcohol, I'm good. I don't need a sober walkthrough for that, but tripping I do, because my brain's a bag of cats. Yeah, it dehydrates you, I believe.
Get a serious case of cottonmouth.
Yeah, it does like similar things to weed, but it's like extra. Yeah.
You get that white shit at the corners of your mouth.
Like I don't do edibles because edibles make me trip more than shrooms ever did. And I don't like it, and they last for like 3 hours, and that's thank you. Like the last time I took an edible, I was on like Long Beach here, and like I was moving clouds with my mind. I was moving them. They were doing whatever I wanted.
Sounds like
cool. Except then, like I had 2 more hours of just like I wouldn't like this stuff.
That's
please.
Yeah. That's the.
I don't like this.
Yeah, when you're at that point, it's just not fun anymore.
Yeah, that's don't do edibles. They last too long. I don't want anything that lasts longer than like 30 minutes. Fuck that. Unless it's alcohol, because I'm just I have had enough. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, like is it salvia?
That I have no interest in. That
Well,
sounds fucking terrifying. Where it's like 4 seconds of your life, but feels like an eternity.
Yeah, so I had
that is my fucking nightmare.
me thinking that that makes more sense than mushrooms because the potential for having like hours and hours long trips. So I was
But
like,
it
look,
feels like
yeah,
hours and hours.
so I was like,
I've
let's
never
do this.
done it because of that.
I have now
Ooh.
probably 2 or 3 times now. It's been years, but I was like, oh no, it's fine because it's only like maybe a 10-minute trip or a 15-minute trip. It's fine, dude. Oh my god, I felt like
I have
that
no
for
interest
days.
in that like gas station drug. Like, fuck that. Like, no. Like, I'm very particular. I like to know exactly what something's going to do to me, and then I'll ease into it.
And
And
I
when you
couldn't
get like
believe.
something like salvage, you don't really know what's in it. Like, you can't prepare for it. It's
And
just whatever is getting ahead of the current drug regulations that just put this
yeah,
chemical in, and it's like a hacker and viruses and antiviruses. Like, the antivirus is never going to be ahead of the virus, the people who are creating the viruses, and same with drugs, the designer type drugs. You're never going to be ahead of the people who are creating shit. You're always playing catch up. Don't need that.
and I think it was the second time we done it out of a bong, which wasn't as bad. But the first time, I think where we got it from, they gave us these weird, like fucking wooden. They were like these crazy, like tribal looking pipes. And when I
Like
say
peace
right, I
pipe
don't think
shit.
I've ever experienced anything or seen anybody experience something where literally the second that that thing touched my lips, that was just it. I could feel it, like I felt like I was being pulled down into the floor.
Oh, I don't like that.
It instantly, as soon as I sat back in the chair, I was like, "Holy shit, my chair is going down underground."
You don't like that?
Terrible. And then, like, the more I felt like I was trying to like get out of it, it was like this weird
More
quicksand
like,
thing.
yeah.
Oh, and everyone was like, I remember people around me, I could hear the voices being like, just lean into it. It's fine. Just chill. It's fine. I was like, oh, get me out of this already.
Ah, so that's all I've ever heard about that stuff, and I will never do it because of that exact. Mm. Did you do them? See, also doing them in Amsterdam, it's like they're regulated. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Something like that wouldn't bother me as much.
Yeah, that it felt safer. It's like I
Yeah.
know exactly what I'm consuming. I know exactly what's going on. I've melted into many a carpet.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And there's a documentary called Alone in the Wilderness, I think it is, about some dude who basically just moves away and builds a log cabin up in the mountains on
I've
his
toyed
own.
with doing that.
And I
I've thought
remember,
about just like moving to Montana and just
oh dude,
saying fuck it.
I need to send you this documentary. It's so good. But like I remember watching it I think I'd smoked out like 3 or 4 times, and the last 2 times I was like, right, I'm gonna make myself as like chilled as possible. So we put like all like blankets and shit and pillows on the ground and like lit candles and put that documentary on. Dude, I swear to God, right? I think I was only tripping for like probably not even the length of
Candles
the
would freak me the fuck out.
right? Not even the length of the intro, I think I was tripping for, but I felt like I had watched that entire documentary somehow. I felt like I knew.
Yeah.
I was like
It,
telling everybody about what happened, even though I hadn't seen it.
yeah. Oof. I I've been very close to just like moving to Wyoming or Montana and like just building myself a yurt out of mud and wood,
You just
which
let
is insane that I live in like the most populated city in the world, and then like, but I don't really like people.
yeah. How do you cope with that?
It's strange because here, like no one will talk to you on the street. Like they just won't. Like, yeah, you're surrounded by 8 million people on this little island, but like, no one's gonna bother you. Like, no one's gonna talk to you, so you might as well just be alone. Like, I could be bleeding in the corner, and like most people would just walk right by you. Like, you're essentially alone, but you're not. I mean, there's thousands, millions of people around you, but you're essentially alone. Like, no one pays any attention to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you can do what you want. I like that there's stuff to do, but I like
Mhm.
that I don't. I like the option
You
of
you
having
don't
something
need
to
to
do.
be in it.
I
Yeah,
usually don't want to do anything.
yeah. So this guy is basically given like your usual campfire story.
Yeah,
It's basically a
he's
ghost
doing
story.
like the hook and the
Yeah.
car door and all that shit.
So it's ghost story. There's a children's home that used to be nearby, and there was this violent monk who
A violent monk.
yeah, who had been like abusing kids and everybody and all this mad shit and like killing people and torturing them and stuff. And he I think he was killed in the end or something as revenge for killing somebody's twin brother. And then I think from this point on now this dude has like planted the seed. So
Oh,
like
like
this chick
what's
here
going
now,
on here?
yeah, this chick here now is having like some sort of premonition or something, or so she thinks.
Oh,
See, this is the part where like now I'm like, this is actually a really clever idea because it's like
it's a great idea.
it's like
I
that
can't
that's
believe there's not more movies
yeah,
like this. Because
that's actually
I
a
mean,
fair
not
point.
everyone knows what it's like to trip, but most people do, and the people who don't will believe whatever the fuck you tell them is what it's like. Like, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, like and like I said, obviously I know things like salvia and stuff are not the same as mushrooms, but I can imagine, it has a similar effect. I
Salvia is
remember
like mushrooms times a billion, but for like 10 minutes.
yeah, and I distinctly remember when I took the first inhale and I sat back in the chair
Yeah,
and
and
like
apparently, I again never done it, but apparently hits you like a fucking freight
right,
train.
I'm not messing it, right? And I'll never and I could have swore to you at the time. I would have stood up in court and said it happened. I remember I inhaled it. I put it down on the table. I exhaled and sat back, and as soon as I looked
You're just
down at my body, I was wearing a full Robin costume.
like Batman Robin.
Yeah, like a full, but like to the point where like I was convinced that I had this full thing on me, and I could like feel it, and it was like
Yeah.
metal and rubber, and I was like, "Holy shit, where did?" And I remember like looking around, and I knew there was people in the room, but I couldn't see them. But I was like talking, and I was like, "Where did I get this out?" I was like, "This is unbelievable."
Of all the things, I wonder why you thought that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
So
that's
random,
awesome.
so random,
I've
but
been
like
like,
it felt
fuck
like
yeah.
I would
Which
have like,
Robin were you though?
oh,
Were you Dick Grayson? Were you Jason Todd? Were you Tim
I
Drake?
can't
Were
even
you
I
Damian
can't even
Wayne? Which one
remember.
were you?
Yeah, I can't even remember specifically.
Yeah, I
I
just
remember
listed all
like
the Robins.
I remember looking and seeing this some sort of a symbol, and I was like, "Oh yeah, these colors are the Robin. Yeah,
What
yeah,
up,
this is
sweet?
Robin's costume."
That's so fucking funny. But again, that's my absolute nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I've never done that.
Hey, sweet.
Jack Gleason. He's apparently like the nicest guy ever.
And I think the worst part about something like that is, I would have been, like I said, I would have been willing to go to court and swear in and
Yeah.
say, I had that on me. That definitely happened.
I mean, that's a whole other like conversation of like what we felt and what we thought we saw. Like how eyewitnesses are not always necessary.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what you feel. Like, I misremember things all the time. I tell stories from my past that probably didn't happen anywhere near the
what
way
is it?
I tell them, but I feel like they did, and I remember it that way. They probably didn't, though.
What? Yeah, what's that called again? Is it the Mandela effect?
I mean, you could apply that to it. It's just, when you give like emotions and feelings and like to past events, it's like I felt like this during this interaction. Like it doesn't. That's how I took it, but it doesn't mean that's actually what happened. You know, like the other person in your interaction could be like, that's not what happened at all. Like you just felt this way. Like maybe I felt threatened in an interaction, and someone was like, no, there was like no threat there at all. But maybe I told that story, and I was like, oh, this person was fucking with me. They're like, no, it wasn't at all. Like, what are you talking about? So there's flaws to our memories.
That whole Mandela effect thing actually is like really bizarre. Just how
It is when it's like the whole like we got like the whole Sinbad thing and the Berenstein Bears.
like there's so many. I didn't actually realize that when that was originally coined, it had something to do with Mandela himself.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course.
Yeah, but I didn't really realize that it was actually directly tied into somebody
It's funny.
remembering that he had died in a South African prison in
Yeah,
1980.
it's just this like groupthink memory because something was so much some way that we all kind of you just again that's the fault of our memories.
Oh, okay. Is this true? I don't know if this is a thing or not.
What?
So if you saw Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, you probably remember Darth Vader uttering the famous line, "Luke, I'm your father."
Well, he doesn't actually say that.
Yeah. So I
No,
didn't.
the
I didn't.
reason people think that is because of Tommy Boy. When he's yelling in the fan, he goes, "Luke, I am your father." That's not what he says. He just says, "No, Obi-Wan was wrong. I am your father." He doesn't say,
I had
"Luke, I
no
am
idea.
your father."
Yeah, I had no idea.
My theory is it's because of Tommy Boy. I don't know if that's true, but that's the theory I subscribe to. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
Here's another one I didn't know. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the line "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" That's not actually the line. It's magic mirror on the wall.
See? You get these things in the zeitgeist that are just out there.
Yeah, and they just like exist, and it's like there's a thing I would have said to you, not that I care that much, but I would have been like, yeah, it's mirror, mirror
Yeah.
on the wall.
The Star Wars one hits for me. I know what it was. Obi-Wan never told you. He told me you killed him. So good. I love his little scream afterwards too. I love Mark Hamill.
That whole Sinbad thing and all of what I'm trying to look that up here now to see
Curious George didn't have a tail.
what exactly was the. Can you remember like the whole story of that or what?
The Sinbad thing? I mean, he just he just like thinks it was the 90s, so he wore like parachute pants and shit. Like, so of course he looked like Genie or like whatever the fuck it was. Wasn't that the thing?
Yeah, well, so one of the most well-known examples of the Mandela effect is the collective
Shaq and
memory
Kazam was true.
of a movie called Shazam
Unfortunately.
that starred actor-comedian Sinbad in the 1990s. In fact, no such movie exists, although there was a children's movie called Kazam and some
With
other
Shaq.
coincidences that could help to explain how this movie became created.
I think
or
that's
presented.
maybe our racism, and it's like big black man doing a Genie. Like they couldn't tell the difference between Shaq and Sinbad. I don't know.
Such a strange thing, though, that like.
See, I never had that memory.
Neither did I, but it's just like there are just certain things, like even reading the
Like I was
whole,
very familiar with Sinbad, but I was a child that probably shouldn't have been as familiar with Sinbad as I was.
like even reading the whole like Nelson Mandela thing, and not that I'm like a historian or anything, but for some reason, like
I
when I
am.
first came across that, I was like, oh yeah, sure he died, in the 80s in prison. That's like, no, he only died like, like
You
10
see,
years
I
ago.
didn't have that either because I am a historian. I have a
No, not
history degree to prove it. I have it somewhere over there. I can get it if you want. A whole thing
well,
from the University of Iowa that says I am. But I get how those kind of things happen, sort of. Even though I didn't have any of them. And yeah, he should quit wearing genie clothes. That's my point. See, I remember him on that too. Like I had no predisposed position of thinking he was a genie or like yeah, he wore like big genie type pants, but that was the 90s. Like that's fine. I didn't make that crossover. See, you know.
just got a new follower on Twitch.
Nice.
A7 Meds.
What does
Whatever
that mean?
is, I have no idea. If you are
You want
there,
to know our meds?
comment in the chat.
You want to know my meds? I'll tell you. Hey, Zoloft. I take. I can't remember the other one. I can't pronounce it. I'll go get it if you need.
Also, actually, we hadn't talked about this because I wasn't here last week, unfortunately. What were your
Yeah, it
thoughts?
took us over the last like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's been here a while.
What was your thoughts on Batman?
Loved it. Like, I need to see it again because I have a baby bladder and I had to pee 15 minutes in to a 3-hour movie. So I'm sitting there like this the entire time. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was done really well. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go as far as to say I want to see it again, but
I need to see it again. I think I'm gonna like it a lot more the second time because I'm gonna get my I'm gonna be evacuated. I'll be fine. But like when you have to piss, like it's like in
it's
your
just like
head.
the worst, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just, and this is more of a testament to Matt Reeves and his filmmaking. It's like there was no actual point where you could go pee and
You were
not.
like, yeah, now is the time.
Yeah, you could. I was looking for that feel, and like there just wasn't that. There wasn't that moment of like you're not gonna miss anything or not understand something. Like, there just wasn't. So I think it was a beautifully made movie. I think Robert Pattinson's awesome.
Oh, he
And the
was so good.
Batman they were trying to do, like all the critiques of it pissed me off. It's like, oh, he wasn't like doing the Bruce Wayne person. It's like he's not there yet, man. Like that's not what this was,
And
Like, he's not the
think as well,
Playboy Bruce Wayne like dating models and like he's not there yet. He's consumed by vengeance right now. That's all he is. And that's his story arc. That's what he realizes at the end that like I need to be more than this.
and also you have to account for the fact as well. And I think we probably, I think modern day like mainstream audiences never really got to see it, but like that kind of was how Batman was intended. Like the story of Batman, it was very like that. I would go as far as to say,
I mean, it depends on the iteration.
Batman
Like,
movie.
I mean, you look at like Frank Miller Batman Year One or something, which this was supposed to be Batman Year Two, where he knows what he's doing, but not really. Like he's still fucking figuring it out. But the reason I love this one, this is the first time we got Batman as a detective. He's supposed to be the world's greatest detective. And we got him as a fucking detective. That was great.
Yeah, it was definitely my favorite Batman movie.
I don't know if it
and
was my favorite. I'm too close to it.
I
But I think
no,
it was.
I do want to
I
see
think
it
it was
again.
great.
I do want to see it again, but I definitely think that this might actually be my favorite Batman movie.
It
And
might be when all's said and done. But
that's coming from somebody who, like, I will die on the cross of I
you
love.
love Batman Forever.
Yeah, I love Batman '89. I absolutely adore Batman Returns.
Well,
Um,
I actually I'm going on an island here, but I really liked Affleck's portrayal of Batman. I didn't like what he was given,
me too, actually.
but I loved him as an old, like, hulking, just like brick shithouse of a man, like Batman. Like, he was just a beast of a dude that was just like, fuck it. I don't think he was written well. I don't think the lines of dialogue he was given were great. I think he did the best he could with them. I think Affleck was a good Batman, and I don't think he gets the credit
Yeah,
he
so do
deserves.
I. And I would have actually liked to have seen that maybe expanded on. And I'm going to go out on a limb here as well, and people will give me shit for this. I actually enjoy, and I've watched it many times, Batman versus Superman. And I don't care what anyone says.
The extended version,
Yeah,
the extended's actually a solid movie because it all makes more sense.
yeah,
Like,
I really
in
enjoy
the
it.
theatrical release, it makes no sense. Like they just blame Superman for killing these people with bullets. Like, Superman doesn't shoot guns. That doesn't make any sense. But then they show him like flame throwing them. Like, so okay, he uses heat vision, and then like the whole Senate thing, he just like flies away. Like, he wouldn't do that. So he just like he actually helps them and like not. Yeah, I'm bothered by that. Like, I like this Snyder cut.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right though in saying that he doesn't get enough credit, and he's just kind of been glossed over now completely.
Yeah, because he was given. I mean, he was given bullshit. He did the best he could. Like, the line from like Batman and Superman, where it's just like, if there's a 1% chance that he could be like a bad villain, like, we have to take that as 100% certainty. Like, that's nonsense. He delivers it great. Like, his delivery, fantastic. What he's saying, nonsense. It's fucking nonsense.
Yeah, okay, Joe, I have to agree with
Martha
that.
thing.
There.
But in the extended version, that makes a little more sense because it's like it shows his humanity. It's not that they're actually named the same thing. It's that, oh, he has parents. He has like he sees his humanity in that.
Also, right?
But that doesn't show through in the theatrical cut.
I would
And it barely does in the extended.
I would defend Affleck in a lot of ways. I actually really like him as an actor, but
I think he's a great actor.
When he was cast
a great
as
Batman.
yeah, when he was cast as Batman, I would be lying if I said at first I wasn't a bit like, oh geez, I don't know where this is gonna go. But he's grown on me, and I think he's a really good Batman. I really like that version of the Batman. The one thing I will say is, and I'd seen a lot of it online, people calling him the worst Batman there ever was.
Oh no, Clooney's
You
the worst.
motherfuckers not remember that George Clooney
It's Clooney
played
But
Batman. So anybody who says
the biggest problem with that Batman was that he killed people. Not that he killed people. So what they needed to do with that movie, this is such a simple fix. Like, the nightmare scene was one of the coolest parts of that movie. So you show him going to the edge of killing people up until that, and then he's just straight up murdering people in the nightmare scene. So then that shows him like what could happen, what he could turn into. And that's way more, that says so much more weight if he doesn't kill people before that, but then he's just murdering people willy-nilly in the nightmare scene. Like, does that not have 1,000% more weight? Where he's like, oh, fuck, like, this is what I become. This is the future I have. Like, have him going up to the point, but never doing it before.
yeah.
Like, that's simple, basic storytelling, right? Like, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. Am I wrong? I feel like that makes the nightmare scene land so much harder. And again, Zack Snyder should have done an Injustice. He shouldn't have done Justice League. He should have done Injustice. Because he's all about dark and everyone being fucked up and everything. That I want to see. I want to see Zack Snyder's Injustice League.
I don't know if I agree with that, Joe. That Clooney's problem was Joel.
I think Clooney's problem was he got on set and was like, "Oh no."
Okay, yeah. There's a point.
Schumacher makes good movies. Schumacher made 8mm with fucking Nicolas Cage, which has a scene of him like burning child pedophiles alive. Like Schumacher's not like just a popcorny like here's fun like silly shit. Like Schumacher can make movies.
Val Kilmer. Okay, so
Crazy
childhood
person.
memories. I absolutely love Batman Forever, and as a kid, or as I suppose being younger,
Batman Forever was my favorite.
yeah, being younger at the time, not a child, maybe coming into like teens or whatever. I have these, I suppose, vivid memories of like looking at him and being like, oh, that's Bruce Wayne. That's what Bruce Wayne looks like to me, with like the the slick back hair and the kind of cool playboy.
It was Val Kilmer.
Yeah, he had that vibe. And that was another thing that fell flat as well for George Clooney. I know, like at the time, he would have been like, one of the like pretty playboys of Hollywood, but it didn't really
felt
translate
like
into
George
Bruce
Clooney
Wayne.
going through the lines. Like he didn't feel like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
Val
he just
Kilmer felt
didn't.
like Bruce Wayne. I actually recently saw some stuff about Clooney, and he was like, this man's a billionaire who has like all these cool things and gets women all the time. Like, why is he gonna be sad? Like, yeah, his parents died like 50 years ago, but who gives a shit after you have all this? Which kind of fair enough.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fair point.
But that's not the Batman thing,
Also, I had seen
Kilmer also fucked a bat on screen, so that was cool.
Robert
And
Pattinson.
we saw it, we did it.
Yeah,
it happened. There's no getting
that's
around
strange. That was strange.
I love it. That's my favorite part.
I had seen that Robert Pattinson had said when they first screen tested him, they used Clooney's batsuit. Yeah, they put him in. They only had the top half of it, so the bottom half he had like sweatpants on, and then they put like. Apparently, that was the only one that actually fit him because they didn't build out the suit at that point. So they put the top
I love
half
his
of Clooney's batsuit on, so they could just like I don't know, take some shots of him and see him moving around in it and whatever.
His batsuit's great. Controversial opinion. My favorite batsuit is Affleck's.
I
think that's the best batsuit. I think it's great. I like the gray. I like the colors. I like everything about it. That's my favorite batsuit. I like Pattinson's. But Affleck's is my favorite.
I love that scene in Batman vs Superman where Affleck shows up in like the armored Batman suit.
Oh, the armor's the bad armor's awesome. They nailed that.
Yeah.
Like
and
outside of like that was Frank Miller without the cord going into the light post. Like that was perfect. That was so good. That fight stunk and it was stupid. It was like I hate a fight where it's like half a second of conversation will just stop us from fighting. And that's all that would have happened there. And like nothing made sense where it's like his whole plan hinged on Superman like throwing him through this particular building where this spear was. Like it's all fucking stupid. But that suit, that mech suit was fucking awesome and perfect. I mean, I don't have that many strong feelings about it, but
I put it this way, right? I liked it that much that when I seen that Hot Toys brought out like that like $400 figure of the armored
really
batsuit,
good.
I was like,
I mean, it nails it. It's exactly what it should be. It's perfect.
And I just love like the change in his voice. It has that kind of like robotic.
I do like that he has the voice like modifier, and like they
Yeah.
even make a moment of it where he's talking to Alfred. He's like, "Is this working?" Like kind of thing. It's like, how did that work this time? I like that, so he doesn't have to do the "Hey, I'm Batman." Yeah,
The Riddler was good in Batman.
he was
yeah.
really good.
I really liked that switch to kind of a more real, like, serial killer vibe.
Yeah, he was basically the Zodiac,
Yeah, I
and
really
like
liked
how
that.
he thought he was on board with him. I mean that interrogation. I mean spoilers, but that interrogation scene where he keeps saying Bruce Wayne over and over. I thought he knew. And like just like the little cut of where Pattinson looks at like the like adapter of the conversation. Like, do I need to like cut this off? Like, did you
Mhm.
notice that he
Yeah.
pans over really quick? That quick shot,
Mhm.
because he's just like, oh fuck, he knows who I am, but he didn't. Obviously, I thought that scene was so good. That was so perfect. Because you saw what he was thinking. You saw what he was like, oh fuck, I gotta like cut the feed off. Like, what do I do here? Like, this motherfucker knows who I am. But he didn't.
I
That's
actually
a
feel
that's a normal trope of like Batman villains find out who he is all the time, but like the Joker knows who he is. Like the Riddler's found out who he is, but it's like, what's the point of a riddle that everybody knows so he doesn't tell everybody?
Mhm.
So I thought that's the direction they were going, but they didn't, which is great. That subverted my expectations.
I feel really bad for using this movie for a stream this week, and like I have literally not watched one full clip,
I
one full scene.
Full disclosure, any stream we do, I don't watch anything.
Yeah, most of the time I don't either, but like I've literally like
I
not
just
watched
talk
any
the
of it,
entire time.
and like I think would have been I
I
suppose
never pay attention.
I just feel maybe it would have been an Irish made movie. I was like, oh, I probably should be giving this like more.
Well, that's on me because I'm gonna steer the conversation.
I brought up Batman and all as well though, so
Yeah, that's your fault. You can talk about Batman. I'm not gonna shut the fuck up. I mean, I'm never gonna shut the fuck up. Like anytime I go on anyone else's show, I go like that don't know what we're really about. I'm like, just tell me to shut up at any point, and I will. They're like, what are you talking about? And then like 2 hours later, they're like, okay, I get it now. Like, I should probably tell you to shut the fuck up. Because I'm never gonna stop talking. I won't. That's my promise to all of you.
I don't mind that.
Yeah. Well, I hear a second of nothing happening. I'm gonna talk. And I like to hear myself talk because I'm a narcissist.
Me too.
Who are the saints of St. Patrick's Day? I mean, I know they're not Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick Flannery of the Boondock Saints, but
What did he ask? When
thanks,
when
Sweet.
is St. Patrick's
Love you,
Day?
Sweet. Sweet's the best. I love him. I don't know. He is yes. Or when are he was? I thought he asked when are the or who are the saints of St. Patrick's Day. He asked when it was. Thank you, Keisha. It's so sweet of you. You're all the best, and I love you. I am nonsense, and I'm so happy you subscribe to our nonsense.
Me too. I'm gonna start doing giveaways, I think now, every week from next week on to try and push the streams a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, we did that like on our yearly thing, but like we don't make anything really. Like we could make a little bit of money if we put ads on our show, and like, but I just don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's weird. Like we can make a couple bucks off of each episode, but I don't know. I've listened to shows that I love before they had ads and anything. And like once that happens, I don't know.
Yeah,
And-
sometimes it can like sour the brand.
Yeah, like, and I don't think I'll ever let this happen, but it's like like something interesting is happening, a conversation that I like, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, like you know, men's has an ad here now. Like we talk about the ball curing disease or whatever the fuck they do. I'm like,
Yeah, the
like you just stopped like this interesting conversation for that.
yeah the
Like if
one thing
we
I
ever
hate,
do them, we'll do them before it starts. We'll do it at the end, and maybe in the like structured in
yeah,
between.
like the mid roll or whatever.
Yeah, and I struggle with that because I'll have to do a read before we do the whole, because there's a whole like momentum that goes into that with our music and everything, and I don't want to fuck that up. So I,
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
think
put any ads in.
yeah, and I think there's a way to go about it. Like I don't necessarily mind it if I start a podcast and there's like an ad or two or whatever.
Yeah, you
I
just
hate
10,
this thing of
15
like
second hit.
I hate this thing of like, they're having a conversation, let's say, about this, and
ZipRecruiter.
I say to you like, oh wow, that dude is fucking super hairy, and then it's like, oh, and speaking of hair,
Yeah, speaking
we're
of Harry,
sponsored by
here's the
Manscaped.
Manscaper 3000. Like,
And it's just like, I don't know, it just feels like too, it's just like too
it feels
unoriginal.
gross.
Yeah, it's just like, oh fuck off, just
Yeah,
put
and I
the
don't
ad
want
right
to.
in front of me. Don't like
I
do a
don't
whole
want
like
to
try and
do
bake
that.
it in.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Like, if we're gonna do them, I'll do one at the beginning, one after it's over. I I pushed back a lot about the one in the middle. I feel like I'm gonna have to acquiesce on that at some point, but
I'll just
because
leave
we
Joe's
because
comment.
we have like an actual like agent who's told us like what to do and all these things, and I'm just like, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't. It's not. I mean, what the fuck do I know? They're making a goddamn dime. I just want people to enjoy it. Like, I don't want to make a lot of money. I just want to make enough money to be able to do it. So I'll cut that middle one out. No problem. At best St. Patrick's Day, when I was living in Birmingham, we drove to Wales, took a boat the day before over to Dublin, got there at like 8 in the morning, which didn't realize, even though it was St. Patrick's Day, they don't serve beer that early.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to, what was it? It would have been the Guinness factory, right?
Yeah.
Because they would give you beers on the tour.
Yes, they would.
So we went there first thing, and we were there with a bunch of tourists, and we had like chips, like get your beers, and no one wanted to drink. It's 10 in the morning. We got all their chips. We got hammered before you were allowed to serve beer till like noon or whatever the fuck it was. We were thrown for that for a minute of like, wait, Ireland doesn't let you on St. Patrick's Day.
Mhm.
Ireland won't sell us beer before noon. We're like, what the fuck? But we figured it out. See,
And that became a thing.
that's my genius. Is finding out how to get drunk when you're not allowed to get drunk. That's
That
like,
originated,
to the
I think,
factory.
from I suppose on Sundays and stuff. Not so much now, but years ago, everybody would have had to go to church on a Sunday, and like even like the men, like like the head of the family or whatever, they wouldn't have necessarily been religious, but it was like this strict, like you would go to mass on a Sunday, and then you see, I think the serving alcohol thing was noon, because a lot of them used to go to say mass at maybe 11 a.m. And then you would go, they would already be in like their suit or their pants and shirt and whatever, and they would go straight from there to the pub.
I mean, we have that here where it's like these crazy rules of like, depending on the county you're in, it depends on how you can sell alcohol. Like actually here, like on a Sunday, I don't think they're legally supposed to be able to sell you alcohol till like 11 o'clock in the morning or something like that. But I just go to bodegas or like whatever. Like they don't give a shit. Like I've even gone to like a 7-Eleven on like at like 9:45 in the morning on a Sunday, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't sell you this till 10." And I'm like, "Do you want me to go home and like come back?" And they're usually cool. They're just like, but they're careful. They like made me put it in a bag where there's like paper bags on top of everything where you couldn't see what I was holding, so they couldn't tell that I had a case of beer. But everyone's cool here. It's fine. That was actually a really fun trip. We left that night to go back on a boat, and I remember I won because sports betting was legal there. I bet on some sort of football, soccer match, whatever. Won like a couple £100, euros, whatever it was. And we found a cab that was like, "No, we're not taking anybody." And I gave him the ticket. I'm like, "Take us to the port. You can have this." And he took us right there.
You know what's funny for everything that everybody is saying?
About that until right now. Yeah, it's fucking funny.
That
used to be so much fun. God damn.
Everything that everybody's saying in the chat there about St. Patrick's Day and just that whole celebration, or whatever. And there's all these different things that go on. It's really funny because I think a lot of people think that in Ireland, like there's like this big preparation. It's like this big thing.
Yeah, it wasn't like a big thing.
It's literally just like...
Yeah, we got there and it was just another fucking day.
Yeah, like I know everybody likes to say, "Oh, you know, get your Guinness and do drinking and do this and do that."
Yeah.
But it is literally that's all it is in Ireland. Like I can guarantee you this Thursday that all that's going to happen is just more people are going to go out and get more shit-faced. There's no real like
just
celebration.
Come out,
yeah.
Like my dumbass. We were like, "Well, this has got to be a party." And then it's like, "No, this is just like..."
Yeah, like there's no crazy celebration. It's just like a big night out.
Which is
like,
why we left that night. Like, we realized after being there for 14 hours, so like, it's just time to go home. And we took a boat home, and they showed the Muppet movie on the boat, which was awesome.
It takes my wine off the sale price on Sundays. I have to add it to my cart on Monday.
Wait, what?
Elaborate, I don't understand.
Yeah, I want to know.
I heard wine. I like wine.
And I mean, there's always so much fucking tax on everything we do. Joe knows we used to go to we did this last time. Joe, where did we go in Canada to bet on stuff?
Thanks, Greg. Greg says on the Muppets.
Joe, where did we go in Canada? It starts with a W. It's not Winchester. It's fucking hell. This is gonna bug me.
It's all right, gents. I'm
God
here
damn it.
now.
God
Yeah, Greg,
damn
we
it.
haven't watched one bit of this film at all, and like I
I
just
ain't paying
flipped
attention.
over the screen, and I was like, "Wow, there's still 27 minutes left." I was like, "What the?" Even though I haven't seen it. Yeah, even though I haven't seen any of it, I'm like, "Geez, this is an awfully long film."
Joe, sort me out. I don't want to have to look this up. I know you know what I'm talking about. Fuck! This is bugging me.
Actually, I'd be interested to find out here. Has everybody, including yourself, Josh, seen
It's not Winnipeg.
seen Dog Soldiers? Yeah, well, you.
I mean, I have with Greg.
And anybody in the chat seen Dog Soldiers and also American Werewolf in London?
The second one I haven't, actually.
I was just interested if anybody in the chat has seen both of those. Which one would you say is the better werewolf film? Greg says, "I don't blame you." It's
Windsor! Thank you, Joe. Windsor, yes. Windsor. We used to go from Detroit to Windsor and they had state like run alcohol sales. Like you could only buy it in the state place, and they had sports betting, but you could only it was through the state, and you could only bet parlays. You couldn't bet straight bets. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Fuck, Jesus fucking Christ. I knew Joe would know.
Greg, you can't be saying that, man. You're Irish. You have to say this movie is good.
I'm a third Irish. I don't give a fuck.
Yes, the grocery delivery company can't give us the sale prices on wine on Sundays here, apparently.
See that? We have that all over the states where it's like some counties, it's like you can only buy alcohol. Like where I grew up, you can go to the grocery store, but they have like a separate little like chunk of a store where you buy the actual alcohol. You can't buy it in the grocery store, but you have to buy it. Fuck off. Thank you, Joe. That Windsor thing was driving me insane.
I literally said that exact same thing last night. Keisha had done a podcast with Greg and some of the other guys, and I agree.
I believe you. I believe everything Joe says now because he told me about Windsor. So.
Does anybody know what Father Ted is? Have you ever heard of it?
Who's Father Ted?
Oh my God. So there's something we're going to do at some point. It's an Irish like comedy sitcom kind of a thing.
You got a laugh track and everything?
Oh, dude, I'm gonna pick something, or even I might pick like best clips or something like that. And we gotta watch it sometime. I want to get like your live reaction to it.
Done. I mean, you know, I will do literally anything. I've agreed to all the hostels and martyrs. Like, I'll do anything. No, Windsor is horrible, and I mean, I can't refute that. That's not why we went there.
Why so?
I'm not saying we weren't, but that's not why we went there.
I don't understand. What am I missing out on?
Actually, Windsor, and this was pre-Joe. That's the only that's the only bar I've ever been kicked out of. I remember I was with my friends and like we met some nice young ladies, and some locals were very much not happy about that. And we got kicked out of that bar. It's the only bar I've ever been kicked out of.
Yeah, so there's a good one actually. Greg pointed out a good Father Ted episode, The Beast of Craggy Island.
What is that?
I need to show you this show, man. It's like so ridiculous.
Tylenol 3. Sorry. Oh, you
actually, yeah, Swede. When I went to Stockholm a couple of years back for the UFC, and it was I say a few years back. It was fucking 10 years ago, or 11 years ago, and I was only 19 at the time when I was going, and you had to be 20 to drink in Sweden, but obviously in Ireland, once you're 18, you can do well. Everyone drinks when they're like 12, but they were like super strict about it in Stockholm, and like I remember going into like one of those stores he's talking about, and it was this like really scary, like North Korean looking, like everything was like perfect. There was nothing missing off any
like
of the
fake
shelves.
Oranges on the shelf, and
like, dude, I felt like I was like robbing a bank going into this place because I was like, right, I'm literally 24 hours away from being 20. I know there's going to be a problem. This is just not gonna. It was like the scene from Superbad when he's trying to buy the drink.
Fun fact, I was never denied from buying alcohol when I was underage. I've been denied twice while overage.
Which is mad.
Yeah.
I've been to Universal in Orlando several times and seen people that are probably as old as my grandparents getting ID'd, and I'm like, are you
Mine was I I never had any confidence of any sort until recently. One of them was they've actually both been at sports arenas. One was at a Vikings game in Minneapolis. I had just turned 21 like 2 days, like the day before. So my ID was gone, like, and they wouldn't
Mhm.
serve me. Like now I'd be like, go fuck yourself, give me my goddamn beer. But I wandered around to some other stop that got me on. And another one was at a Red Sox game. And I was like 22, but I still was just a giant pussy. And I remember they were just like, that's not you. I just walked away. Like, no, I'd be like, go fuck yourself. Go get every cop ever. Like, eat a dick. Give me my beer.
I had that
But at the time, I was just like, okay, I'm scared. I don't know.
yeah, I had that in Universal Studios only like 3 or 4 years ago, and
I
I
was
had
just scared of everyone who was an adult.
I had my passport, and this like young chick, she looked way younger than me, and she was like, "No, that's not you. What? Where is this a legit passport?" I was like, "It's an Irish passport," and she's like,
The
"Okay."
amount of people who don't understand a passport.
And she's like,
'Cause
"Have you got other ID?" So I pulled out a driver's license, and she's like, "No, sorry, they don't match." And I'm like, "Bitch, I'm nearly 30 years of age. How are you not gonna serve me?"
I haven't had a New York ID since like 6 months ago. So I've been using my passport for like 2 years. And every so often I'll give it to someone and they're like, no, we can't take this. I'm like, motherfucker, call everybody. Like now I'm good with that. I'm like, call every police you want, call everyone you want to see, call every boss you have. Like, this is the most valid thing of all time. Like, eat all the
Yeah,
dicks.
yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Like, now I can do that. Before, couldn't do that. I was scared of everybody.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, "Wait, sorry, what?" She
Well,
was
yeah,
like,
they used to
"No,
like throw me
unfortunately, right
off,
now."
and then you get the like, oh, but no, it's
Yeah, and there's like
then you're
25
fucked.
people behind me in the queue, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, and you're feeling all the stress, and it's just like,
and I remember just stepping out of the queue, and I was standing there going, "Wait a second, did I just not get served
yes.
like a
See,
Heineken or whatever it was?" I was like,
y-
"Hmm?"
so to live in this city that I live in, you have to have a healthy fuck off chambered at all times. Like someone might bump
Yeah,
into
just in
you or
case, yeah.
say something, and you just have to have that ready. And that works with a doorman. Like they go, "What? This isn't right," and go, "Fuck you," or "Fuck off," and they go, "Okay," because no one's ready for pushback. I learned that from Joe and I's friend Ryan. He used to walk through the grocery store with a fuck off chambered. I was like, you know what? That works. New York's the best. I
Yeah,
love
I
it here.
do agree. Yeah, I do
I
like
love
New
it
York.
here. I'm angry with everybody, but I love it here. I mean, I'm gonna be here for another year or two. So I just got my new
See you later,
lease
Greg.
renewal, and it was only $70 more a month. I was worried about that because I got like a pandemic special on my lease, which is so low that I shouldn't have it. I was really worried about when they came back with the next one, and I can get it for $70 more a month. Fuck yeah. Yeah, Joe, you get it. You Detroit loving motherfucker. I'm trying, man. We got to do it. I recently rewatched our retrotainment. Also, I looked at the comments. How the fuck do you have such nice comments on your YouTube channel? Like they were so kind to everything we did. Like, I know what we did was good, but that doesn't mean anything to YouTube. Like, YouTube's like the meanest thing ever. But they were so nice. They were so nice. They're like, I don't know who the fuck these guys are, but this was fun. Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't been stabbed. So,
Thank you.
I might be like naive, but I've never felt like in danger. I don't know. I also have a thing where I know I can talk there's a combination of words that can get me out of anything. Also, I'm faster than most people. I can run away if I need to. No, Greg, I was blown away by your YouTube comments. I just recently watched all of them all the way through because I watch game film. Like, I'm watching what we're doing. Like, what did I do wrong? I'm trying to get better. I know it doesn't seem like it because I'm a goddamn disaster, but I'm trying to get better. Trying to make things better. Trying to put a better thing out there. I watched both of the 2 parts all the way through and looked at the comments, which was against my better judgment, but they were so nice. You have good fans. You have good fans. Don't be scared of the States, Swede. Come hang out with me. I'll show you the ropes. You'll be fine. You and Aaron, come hang out. We'll do New York, right? Be fine.
I'm coming this summer anyway, so
Yeah, come with him. I'll show you what's up. I'll teach you. It'll be moments. It'll be easy. I love you all. You're so much fun. JP's up for everything, by the way. He just has a life, which I don't, so I'm available for everything. He has a wife and a career. No, I don't have any of these things. Yeah, well, I'm a broke 30-year-old, so who gives a shit? Come hang out.
You just took the words out of my mouth.
I don't even honestly know how old I am. I have to do math for a minute. My only responsibility is that motherfucker who's just chilling right now. I feed and water her, that's it. And I guess I have to feed and water myself, but I do. She's the best. Sweet Bee is the cream of the crop. Easiest dog of all time. Best $17 I ever spent.
I have literally no concept of what's happening in this film at all.
I have no idea. Again, I'm just talking.
This is probably the one I've seen the least of, to be honest with you.
We only have 9 minutes left.
Maybe it is as bad as everyone said it is.
Joe wants you to give a shout out to his wife. In your sweet Irish baritone.
What's that there? Sorry, I missed that. Speaking of wives, Aran, could you say
That's his wife.
hello? How is it pronounced?
Andy.
Wait, now I need to do. How would I pronounce it? Just
Andy. However your Irish motherfucking voice pronounces.
Yeah, because it could be something
tell
else.
you that. Yeah, Andy.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Andy, from all the way from the Emerald Isle.
There it is. That's good.
Wants to talk to.
From the Emerald Isle.
See, when someone asks me to do it, then I feel like I'm like, am I?
Yeah, then you're on the spot.
Now I'm not actually saying it like I would.
Yeah. Every so often I can do an impression, but someone's like, do that again. I'm like, it just happened. I can't do it again.
Yeah, like if somebody says like, can you say whatever word? And then I think about saying it, and then I feel like I'm putting on like a
You get
voice.
in your own head and you're putting on airs. Andy's cool as shit, dude. Whoop! Yeah. I love Joe. Joe's coming on our show once the new Top Gun comes out. The Maverick one. Joe will be on then.
Would also love what? I need to actually. I'm like reading pieces of different comments.
Joe's coming on our Top Gun show at some point.
We see you on Tuesday. Would also love a hello, Andy, please. That's gonna have to be a new. Let's make that a new segment then, where
that can be our sign off. Hello, Andy.
Just pick things for me to say.
I love the idea of just feeding you lines to say. Well, I'm going. I refuse to not, but I'm going to make JP TikTok star just doing 80s action movie quotes.
Oh yeah,
because like that's all a bunch of young people who are way younger than us
so
that are going to be like, oh, this is like retro, and like they don't know what it even is.
I don't know if you've ever heard of the Irish police force, the guards.
No,
that's what they're called.
I didn't know you had any law enforcement there. Honestly, thought it was a lawless group.
That we don't call them police or anything like that. We call them the guards.
The guards.
Here's the guards coming. I'm trying to think of words now that I would say that are like so foreign to like anybody else. 1, 2, 3.
It's funny once like you think about yourself, because the way you grow up, you don't think you have an accent. You just are.
Yeah.
Like I'm like even in the States, like where I'm from, like there's people in the States that have an accent. There's Southern accent. There's like an East Coast accent. There's a Chicago accent. There's whatever. Where I grew up, it just was like nothing. And when I lived in England, all of a sudden, I had an accent.
Yeah. It's like a thing.
Yeah, the people I worked with are like, "Oh, you talk like the movie stars." I'm like, "What?
What? Yeah.
What the fuck are you saying?"
Oh yeah, I forgot there's a talking cow at one point in this movie as well.
I just got credits. I don't even know what happened this entire time. Are you at credits?
So I don't even know anymore. No.
I'm at credits.
That's terrible.
I have no idea what happened. Andy
How
does
am
love
I?
me. And I love them both. Yes. I mean, yeah, that's what I figured it was, right? So he nailed it.
That's probably not the best way to pitch that, Swede.
And you can live with me. I got an air mattress. I got a bunch of room over there. There's some water damage, like it's seeping in, but you can sleep over there. It's fine. I'll let you hang.
And if you want to get your own apartment in New York, like, you know, it's only like 10 grand a month. So
Yeah. I mean, I have a ridiculous deal, and I pay like $1,800 a month. So
yeah, nice and cheap.
The fact that only went up $70 a month, I'm blown away. I need to sign that now.
The last time that happened to me was right before the pandemic, and he thought it was a really great time to renegotiate a lease.
For you.
Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, that's fine," because originally I was paying. Now you're gonna laugh at this when I say this,
I'm gonna be angry.
Here, it would be quite expensive. I was paying €850 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment.
That's like maybe $1,100.
And he wanted to put it up to like 1,200, literally overnight. And I was like, "Wait a second now. We're going into a pandemic. I'm not in work, and like everything is closed down, and you want me to like come up with an extra 300 a month?"
My last place was 24-ish, and yeah, they tried to raise it for the next point, which same situation. I came here for 18 with 2 months free and outdoor space. I got so much room out there.
How hard is it to find like accommodation in the city?
Not easy. I have a weird luck of finding apartments. Like it's one of the only lucks I have. For some reason, I just always figure it out when that happens. Like my place in San Francisco was fucking incredible. Like I went to an open house, which an open house like is a disaster. Like there's 1,000 people that go there, and they have to choose from you. Like you're just not gonna get it. And I went there late, and I talked to the guy about how I had a dog, and he just loved that. He's like, "Yeah, we want someone here that has pets. Like we love that." So he just gave it to me. Like, and here I went to look at other places in the building. And I was talking to the lady. I was like, "Hey, is there anything with outdoor space?" She's like, "Yeah, but it's not on the market yet. Like it's under construction." She's like, "I guess I could show it to you." And she took me down and showed it to me. I'm like, "Yeah, I want that. Give me that." Like there was like this whole wall here was not existing. It just was. It was a giant mess, and I'm like, "Give me that. I want this." Like so, I have a weird luck on things because most people don't just like I fall ass backwards into good apartments basically. Like the last one I had, the only reason I got it, like I made some stupid I emailed the people like just like asking some dumbass question that was put on the website because they were like, "Hey, we need like 3 months of rent for a broker because there's broker fees in a lot of places." And of course, no one did that. Like I went to the open house and everything. I was like, "I fucking love this place," and no one was like, I'm not doing that." So they had my information and they emailed me, and I was like, "Yep, I'll take it." They're like, "Oh, we'll waive the broker fee." I was like, "Okay, done." So I get lucky.
Yeah, because I always wonder.
I'm not the best person to look at for that because I have stupid luck when it comes to apartments. I should not have had the apartment in San Francisco. I shouldn't have had any apartment I've had here. I shouldn't have this place. I just get lucky. That's where my luck is. And I'm not sorry about it.
So I'm not sure who is still here or not, but before we get off, I'm going to pull this up. Seeing as it is coming up to St. Patrick's Day, I figure we might as well just do this for a bit of a laugh. Let's see.
Oh, what do you got for us?
second. Here we go. So this is the famous Father Ted, the Irish show. These are just like some clips of like, I suppose, something that's like extremely popular over here, and I don't know if it would
I don't
translate
know
or
what
not.
this is, but give me it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see
Let me have it. Hit me with it.
what you think. Okay, bear with me for 1 sec. Okay, here we go.
Family. Yes, his parents are alive, and he has a brother, I think, a doctor in America. Doctor, wow. You wouldn't believe that, would you? But that used to be quite common, you know. The favourite son would become a doctor, and then the idiot brother would be sent off to the priesthood.
Your brother's a doctor, isn't he?
Yes.
Doctor, how's the patient? He's hanging in there. It's mostly shock. Great, well, that's not serious. Well, it's quite serious. A bolt of lightning can do a lot of damage, can it? Yes. His reactions are very poor at the moment.
He's always been like that. Very poor reactions. That's normal for him.
Actually, he's not reacting at all to any stimulus.
Again, I wouldn't worry about it. That's always there.
Look, Father, I'm a doctor, and I know that it's not normal to fail to react to stimulus.
I'm sure it is. Look at this. See? It's the thing with priests. We have our minds on more spiritual matters. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Well, no, I think I will worry about it.
Oh, God, okay. Can we see him? I'd like to say a prayer.
Yes, all right, Father, this way.
There's an echo somewhere,
we
is
still
there?
haven't been able to remove the golf club.
So he's already having an affair with the sister. And this is when his wife is seriously ill in the hospital.
Wow.
What's happening then?
Incredible, isn't it? So who does he make pregnant but the babysitter? So now he doesn't know whether to stay with the wife, the sister, or run off with the babysitter.
When's his next confession?
Tuesday. I'll keep it posted.
Is there anything on your mind?
Okay, yeah, there's something going on with that video, obviously. Everybody's saying that there's an echo.
We don't ever call the police here. Just as a rule of thumb. There are actually a bunch of police in my lobby because I guess people are stealing packages. Like, I've lost packages. The last thing I'm going to do is call the police. There were a bunch there the other day. I guess someone got frothy and decided that, like, what are you calling the police for? You just, whoever mailed you the package, you go, give me another one. Bringing the cops in.
Mm.
I'm a white man and I still don't even want to deal with the cops. I don't need them here. I don't, like, if my package got stolen, so be it. If people won't send me a new one, I'm not calling the police. That's fucking baffling. I watched them, like, take stories from them. I was just like, you guys are fucking idiots. Like, how long have you been here? Back to Wisconsin. Like, you shouldn't live here.
The guards here, I don't think would even. It's funny because they're unarmed, so like our police force here is unarmed, and they do fuck all really. But at the same time, it's like even if you were to ring them about something, they'd be just kind of like, yeah, well, like, I mean, I guess we'll see if we can do something. Or...
I mean, I've always gotten along with police more of like it's just better for me. Like, the last place I lived was right next to a precinct, so like I brought her around and made friends with all of them. Because it's like I could probably get away with anything that wasn't a felony at this point.
Yeah,
yeah, right. Like, in college, like, I got a bunch of shit stolen from me. And I had to go to the police and, like, tell them everything. And then once I started making friends with them, because I had insurance, whatever they said, a dollar amount, the insurance would take. So I'm talking to them. I'm like, I had this movie, like, I had a PlayStation or two. They're like, PlayStation, like, it's like a PS2, and this is like 2003. And they're like, oh, that's like $500. Like, each movie's like $50 and I had like 100 of them. I got thousands of dollars because I was nice to them. Because they were dicks at first, but then they were really nice. And then we just like fucked around. And they're like, I'm just like throwing things out there. They're like, that's like $800. That's $50. They're just, they didn't give a fuck. And whatever they said, the insurance company just gave to me. It was awesome.
Yeah, I've never had to deal with the guards, as I would call them.
It's not ideal, but I've learned I have to. Again, like when we lived next to the police station, I brought that motherfucker over and everyone loved her.
Speaking of that, do I hear a siren in the background?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just
I know that's all the time anyway, but
I
it's
have
just
windows
convenient
open.
that you were talking about it.
I know because I live next to a Target across the street, and like people steal shit from there all the time. So there's cops over here all the time. But the last time I was in there, like 30 cops came in after I like bought beer. I was like, "This is where I walk out." I was like, "Fuck, I gotta go the other way," because they don't know me. The ones on 18th Street or 21st Street, they know me.
Anything you'd like to plug before we get offline?
Oh man, I mean, look at our show, Action Movie Book Club, on iTunes, on every fucking thing ever. We're also on YouTube, Action Movie Book Club. Subscribe to that. That'd be great. So we can monetize that shit. If we get a couple more subscribers. We got the hours down. Got the time down. But it's the subscribers. That's the issue. So if you could do that, that'd be fucking great. Other than that, no. I'm just happy being here, hanging out with you.
Likewise, for me, it's ClassHorrorCast.com. On socials, I'm trying. Every time I see you're active on Twitter and stuff, and I just try, and I just can't get it down. I'm probably most active on Instagram.
Twitter's the worst. Instagram is where you should put. That's what Jape does, our Instagram, and he's really good at it, but I don't get it. And I understand Twitter, but I also understand it for the fact that it's fucked. Like, Twitter's fucking impossible. Again, if like you didn't get like Bobby as your name, and then everyone knows who you are, like you can put hashtags on Instagram and people will find you. You do that on Twitter and people are like, fuck your face. Like, I hate you for even trying. It's like, it's very like millennial 90s type, like you're trying, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be trying. Like, it's not cool to try.
I always like the idea of it. And when I see people getting like lots of interaction on Twitter, I'm like, I wish I could do that. But it just never seems to.
I mean, that's the thing I understand the most, and it's just, it sucks.
So I am trying to be more.
My favorite social media, but I'm also a piece of shit, and I have horrible thoughts of my own self, and that's why I love it. But follow us, I'll hang out.
Yeah, I have YouTube as well. It's First Class Horror.
Yeah, your YouTube's great.
The podcast is available anywhere you get podcasts, really. Like it says down below right now, comment your questions, feedback, suggestions for both of us. The links to both of our shows, all social media, everything is down in the description below. Final thing, I think, before we go, actually, I just wanted a quick mention. Super sad as a lifelong wrestling fan, super sad to see that Scott Hall.
I know. That sucks.
One of my favorite wrestlers.
He's the bad man.
Yeah, that's it. Like, it was like he made like I think, being younger and seeing someone like him, it was like fun to hate the bad guy, but also
he was the villain, he was the heel, but like, I mean, he really wasn't. So like, fucking sucks.
Yeah, and especially like early 60s, it's crazy. Like, these guys beat the shit out of each other. I know, obviously, it's all predetermined, but like the stuff they do,
they still just wail on each other. It's fake, but the fake is only the outcome. It's not the shit they induce on one another.
Yep. So yeah, we'll be back next week. I think for next week we're rescheduling the Texas Chainsaw we were going to do, and for the following week it looks like you have something.
Wait, what we do? We're not doing Texas?
Oh no, that's what I said. I had rescheduled, because we were supposed to do Texas Chainsaw a couple of weeks
So
ago.
we'll do that next week, right?
Yeah, so we're going to do that next week. I have the artwork's already ready and everything.
I'm excited for that.
I'll post that later on Instagram.
Yeah, because we pivoted because I was like, we can't do this without Aaron. Like,
yeah, and I've been like banging on
couldn't.
about this for so long as well. And
I mean, we
hopefully
did.
We'll jump in.
Did Walking Dead
Pilot,
first
yeah.
episode? That was good. I
Yeah.
hadn't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
That was Jape's idea.
That actually made me want
He's
to go
a
back and
fucking
watch that.
genius, by the way. I know he isn't here all the time, but he's a goddamn genius. And that was such a good idea.
Yeah, that made me want to go.
It was so good. I hadn't seen that in years, and it was so good. I want to like dive back into that whole season.
Yeah, I know. Because those for like, I really enjoyed that first season. Even
was so
when they go
good.
to Herschel's farm in season 2 and stuff, I did actually kind of. I
Yeah,
think it's
because-
now I can enjoy it.
Because that motherfucker was still involved, and he hadn't been cut out yet.
Yeah. So yeah, next week is Texas Chainsaw 2003, and the following week I'm gonna leave it in your hands for the following week. So come up with something, let me
I got
know,
ideas.
and I'll get the artwork done, and we'll announce it at
Perfect.
the end of next week's show. Hopefully we're gonna do some giveaways on next week's show, Texas Chainsaw. I'll have some copies of Texas Chainsaw: The Beginning, which is the sequel. Well, it's actually the prequel to the movie we're going to watch, but it came out after. Potentially some Gremlins Christmas jumpers, Jason Voorhees masks. I have some other stuff there as well. So I want to see people sharing. Now we're going to have to figure out some way to get this shared as much as possible.
Yes.
To try and build up our following.
Love it.
So yeah, looking forward to seeing everyone next week. I will be here from now on. All my bullshit and all is over.
I'm always here. So
likewise, and we also have potentially another.
My best ability is my availability.
I like that.
I'm always available.
We potentially may have another announcement as well in coming weeks. To something that Josh has been conjuring up in his head. Hopefully, we can get that figured out, and maybe he'll make an announcement.
The shit out of that.
Yeah, maybe he'll make an announcement in the next couple of weeks. I've actually been like secretly kind of easing myself back into that thing that we were talking about. Yeah.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, I'm like, because at first I was like, do I want to go back down this rabbit hole? I'm not going to say what it is, but oh man.
Well, yeah,
I'm like addicted.
Again, that's why I proposed the structure that I did.
Yeah,
because
I've become addicted now again already. Right. Okay, so thanks everybody for watching. Like I said, if you have any comments, feedback, suggestions, anything like that, make sure to leave them in the comment section below, or reach out on social media and let us know. And I guess we'll see everyone next week.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Later.